Hello, everyone. You are listening to Your Palm Beach Guide with the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce. My name is Kiana Rivera, and I'm the Vice President of Program Development and Membership at the Palm Beach Chamber. And today, our special guest is Maria Pumarejo from the Quantum House. Hello, hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, of course. So you guys know the drill. I will read her bio briefly, and then we will jump right in. So real quick, Maria Pumarejo is a dynamic force in Palm Beach County and by embodying a commitment to community service and leadership. With a background in business and sports management from Northwood University, she serves as the Vice President of Engagement at Quantum House, spearheading growth and fundraising efforts while providing invaluable support to families facing medical crisis. Maria's impact extends far beyond her professional role. She is deeply involved in various organizations, including the Junior League of the Palm Beaches, where she currently serves as president, 100 Women Who Care, and Mary Immaculate Catholic Church Parish Council, to name just a few. Plus, she's actively involved in the chamber. Her volunteer work spans diverse causes, reflecting her passion for making a difference. And despite her busy schedule, Maria embraces the beauty of Palm Beach County, enjoying outdoor activities and cultural events with her husband. So, holy moly, Maria, thank you for being here today. And I'm so pumped just because I know you personally, but I want everyone to know just how amazing you are, because you are. You're a force to be reckoned with, and honestly, you're just such a good friend of mine. So I'm so glad to have you on now with this platform. So thank you. Thank you.
It is my pleasure. And it's so fun to be able to do this with you because I kind of feel like I've watched you grow up too.
Oh, man.
And you're just as much of a force.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I want to start absolutely from the beginning. Walk me through, how did you get to Palm Beach County? How did you get to Quantum House? Like, how did you get to Florida? Because I know you're a big New York Yankees fan, so we're going to talk about that too.
Oh, awesome. My favorite subject. Well, yeah, I am a native New Jerseyan from a very tiny town, Union Beach, New Jersey, 1 square mile. It's wild to think that now I live in, we live in a small, big town,
right?
Like West Palm Beach is a beautiful, bigger city, but it's such a small town if you really think about it. I got down here in 2005. I went to Northwood University.
Okay.
And from there, I'd like to say the rest is history. That's how I originally found out about Quantum House.
Was through college?
Was through college.
Oh my gosh,
when,
okay.
Quantum House was itty bitty, 10 rooms. They had a program called the Excel program where you could volunteer. And so there was opportunities throughout the county, and that was how I was originally introduced to the house.
Well, and then walk me through, what did you go to school for?
I went to school for sports management.
Okay.
I had some incredible experiences, including working for Rolling Massimino, who was national championship winning coach with Villanova.
Oh, really?
He's a Jersey guy. So we kind of clicked right away. And between him and I got to work for Rick Smoliak, who at the time was the athletic director. Rick became like my mentor and my guy and really guided me through the athletic department and the process. And I got to spend a lot of time with them, and I learned so much from them. And, to be a woman working in the athletic department and for them to kind of guide your path, it was a really interesting experience.
And so during college, you were able to volunteer then with the house. Mm-hmm. Okay. And when you said the Excel program was the one that you started with?
Yeah. So they did all kinds of like arts and culture and volunteering. And so anytime I would want to like try something out, I'd be like, what do they have on their schedule? So, I was always interested in more than just going to school and then partying.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
There was just a little bit more to it than that for me. Yeah.
Me too. I always say my life started after college because I went to school and then I worked, and then it was like, wow, you can do all these things. Like, exactly. I'm free now that I've graduated. So I totally get it. I love that you did that. When it comes to the house, well, explain, why do you call it the house? Like, what does that mean?
So Quantum House is your hospitality house. So we see families that have children that are experiencing some sort of medical crisis, and we actually house them. We feed them. We have them stay with us while they're receiving care in Palm Beach County. So they are the people that are going through really hard things. Right. And so when they cross our threshold, essentially we try to take away any barrier there is to care. So what their job is, the parents, is to take care of their kids and to get them better. And what our job is to make sure they feel like they're at home. whether it be home hot cooked meals, whether it be volunteer activities. So we have arts and crafts for the kids, or pet therapy, or golf.
Right.
We try to make sure that they can focus all of their energy on caretaking, and we focus on everything else.
Right. Well, and I'll just speak to that too. So I'm lucky enough that you brought me in as a volunteer for the advisory council, and it just changed. It changed me. And I think that people always will try to find things to serve and to just kind of check that box off there. Like, I feel like I should do this. And it's so much more personal with you guys at the house. And the fact that we call it the house, and I call it like our families, and like you change the language. You're not like, oh, just the families like Quantum House. You're like, no, this is like our family. And these are the people that live there now. And then when you go and you do arts and crafts, like that's my specialty. Sign me up for Arts and Crafts Day anytime.
Specifically bracelet making.
I know, specifically bracelet making, okay, with encouraging words, because I just sit there and I will go to town with these kids, and it's so fun. And they are kids. And
They are kids.
And they are kids, and they feel the same just as any other kid. And I remember you saying something to me when I first started, because sometimes it can be overwhelming when you see them in like crutches or a wheelchair, or you're just not really sure, like, you know, what they're going through right now. And the last thing you want to do is like go in there and like bring attention to that. And I remember you saying to me specifically, you were like, they're just like every other kid. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Like they are. And then that just clicked with me, and I was like, we're going to hang out. We're going to like mess around and have fun. And that's just, I loved it. So I'm glad you said that. And you say that to everybody. So
I do. They're normal kids going through hard stuff. But like every other kid that you know, healthy or not, they're Sour Patch Kids. Sometimes they're great. Sometimes they're not. They can make you feel like you are the biggest person in the world. They can make you feel like the smallest person in the world.
Right.
I mean, I've literally overheard them say, oh, Miss Maria is so mean. She's so mean today.
Oh my gosh.
And Miss Maria is normally not mean. It's normally like when I'm like, hey, please don't jump on the couch. Or like, maybe you shouldn't do that because you could get hurt. But, you know.
And they're like, oh, Miss Maria is so
you become
mean.
public enemy number one.
Oh my gosh. Well, I love that. And just the fact that you have such a heart for these kids. I've seen it for so many years now. And it's about the kids and just the impact that you're making on those families. So thank you for what you do there.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah.
It's an honor to work at Quantum House.
Right.
It's somewhere that you go every day. And immediately when you walk in the door, like, you know that this is bigger than you.
Right. And I feel like if you're not doing something like that, you should probably find a new job. You know, it's like when you get to the point where you don't love waking up and you're like, let's go. It's time, and it's okay, you know?
100%.
So tell me a little bit about your role specifically there with how you are, you know, you work with the families, but you also work with everybody else, not just the families. Tell me about the whole role, because you do a lot.
Well, we're a small team. You know,
Right.
we're 6 people that are full-time, and my job is really community engagement and fundraising. Essentially, I'm a development person. I actually heard someone say last night, you know, I'm a professional beggar, and like, I don't like that term.
No.
And I think that's like, I was like, somebody referred to nonprofit people as that. And I'm like, that's not what we are. Like, if
Right.
anything, like, I am a relationship builder.
Right.
I make, you know, obviously like relationships with people last, and I want them to know what it is we do. And I think that there's something for everyone when it comes to the nonprofit world. There's something that each and every one of us care about that's on our heart, whether it's affected us personally or it's impacted someone that we care about. And like for Quantum House, for instance, it's easy for me to come in and do what I do because I've had many friends who have had very premature babies, right? That have spent time in the NICU and that have needed a service like this that didn't have it where they lived. Or I have a cousin that was born with severely clubbed feet. So she spent the first few years of her life being serial casted with boots and bars. I see that every single day. And I know how important it is for me to go out and be a voice and be an advocate and to know like where this money goes and how we're able to support these families while they're going through that.
Right.
That's not something that, you know, when we were growing up, there wasn't that for her family, where my friends are in Maryland having, you know, to drive 45 minutes each way to see their babies in the NICU for 4 months. Like there wasn't a house for them to stay in.
Right.
So I understand truly like the importance of what we do is to get these families in and to make sure that they feel supported and loved and cared for before sending them home for them to live the rest of their life.
Well, and tell me a little bit about that. I know you have some international families, which is awesome. Tell me some of like the key spots there, but you also have local families too.
We have families from up the road, from, you know, across the county, from throughout Florida, the country, around the world. I mean, truly, We are so blessed in Palm Beach County to have some of the best pediatric doctors that exist. It used to be, when I first moved here, if something happened with someone's child, they were going to New York or they were going to Boston. Or
you hopped on a plane to the airport.
You got out of town. You didn't stay here. And, it's amazing now where you have all these resources at your fingertips.
Right.
And so not all these families are that lucky. And so, the one thing I've realized about parents, I'm not a parent, maybe I will be one day, but parents are resilient. You never give them the credit that they deserve as when you're growing up. I'm sure that you and I can both attest to that.
Yeah.
But these parents will do anything for their kids. And so they seek out this care.
Right.
And so for them to make this journey, whether it be from across the country or around the world, it's so that they can give their child a better chance at life,
right? A
normal life, whether they were born with some sort of, abnormality or birth defect, or they have a genetic condition. A lot of the kids we see they're a 1 in a million diagnosis.
Right.
So they've never even seen anyone in the town that they live in or the county they live in or the state they live in that has what they have.
Right.
They travel here to see doctors that have seen these cases before, and they stay at Quantum House where they're normal.
Right. And they feel just together.
They feel
instead
together,
of isolation.
supported.
Right.
There's a community around them. They see someone else that's got a piece of hardware. This is not something that's abnormal.
Right.
They're just kids and they're just seeing their friends. I mean, it's a sad day at Quantum House when people go home. Like, we're thrilled for them.
Right.
Those families cry at the door, waving goodbye because they've met people that are going to be their forever friends.
Right. Well, and I love that you guys have created that space there because it's so sacred. Like you said, once you cross that door into Quantum House, you change. You can feel the vibe in there. You can really just sense that this is a different space for those families and also everyone who walks in those doors.
It's a happy place.
It is. It's a happy place and you leave happy, and it's just like, and I love too the fact that you say they're there for a season and then they go on with their lives. So it's always meant to be like, we're going to help during this season and then you're going to go out there and like fly on your own kind of deal, which I love that. So tell me, well, real quick, you're listening to Your Palm Beach Guide with the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce. Our guest today is Maria Pumarejo from the Quantum House, and we are just talking all things quantum. We will transition into other things first, but there's a last Quantum House I want to cover, and that is tell me about all the fundraising opportunities that you've worked with and that you've created, truthfully, to bring in the important funding that you need for Quantum House.
Well, I can't take credit for them. They were there before me. I just obviously do my best to bring people in to support us. And we have incredible supporters, incredible donors, people that love on us. And that's a blessing. Right. But you know what? We do the right thing by them and we steward their money the right way. And I think that's like the most important thing in the nonprofit world, right? We have 4 signature events each year. We do have a community partnership program. We have a new program that just launched that I'm super excited about. That was actually an idea of one of our advisory council members, Lee Gordon, who is a founding member. Shout out Lee.
Shout out Lee.
He's the best. He had this idea. We didn't have a monthly giving program. And he and I kind of started working on it together. And he's like, I really want to do this. And I said, all right, let's do it. And so in the last 6 months, we brainstormed, we came up with, this monthly giving. And I'm proud to say that is underway.
Hey.
That's something that I'd love to see grow, over the next couple of years, but obviously in time, we want to see that be something that can really support the house.
Right. Well, and how do people get more information for that?
They could go to our website. It's www.quantumhouse.org. There is a tab that says donate at the top, and there's also a tab that says ways to give, and you can become a friend of Quantum House under ways to give.
Oh, that's good.
And so there's an opportunity for you to give a monthly gift, and it could be one of the gifts that a certain denomination, or it could be any denomination you choose, because truly every bit helps.
Right. And it could be a small amount like $5 a month, or it could be $200 a month, whatever fits you best just support in some way. And I think
Correct.
that's the great mission behind that is, and shout out to Lee again and you guys for working on this, because now that'll be like another way for you guys to just continue to support the house. So that's
Absolutely.
awesome.
It's amazing. And yes, Lee gets all the credit for that. I don't like to take credit. That is not mine. And it was his idea. And I just was really excited to be able to like work on that project with him.
And then what's the most, or actually what's the, I guess, most recent event that's coming up?
So actually next week, we have our Golf and Goblins event.
Okay.
This is a newly tagged event because it used to be called Golf and Gobble. It got moved up a month. So it's in the month of October. It's a fun golf tournament at the Palm Beach Par 3.
Okay.
You know, it's a great course over on the ocean on Palm Beach, but the real fun behind it is people can dress up. We have great little contests. They're going to they don't know this yet. So, you know, breaking news here.
Breaking news on this podcast.
Okay. They're going to be getting like a trick or treat bucket, like full of all kinds of fun things. So all their little goodies are going to be in there. And it's just going to be a great little tournament. It raises critical funds for us.
Right.
It's one of our 4 events. And, you know, we're just thrilled that it's something that people can really enjoy.
No, that's awesome. And then a final question about Quantum, and then we'll pivot to Junior League because I want to talk about Junior League. Just share a testimony from a family. I know that you go through so many families, but what has been one family that's just stuck with you that you're like, after, you know, whether it's last week or years ago, you know, what's that like?
The first time I volunteered at Quantum House, this was before, and I will say volunteered, not cooking, like volunteered doing arts and crafts, really had an interactive one-on-one with a family.
Right.
It was about 7 or 8 years ago, and it was on a Saturday morning, and I was sitting and I was playing with this little boy who at the time was probably about 9 or 10 months old. So it's like hard to do arts and crafts with a very, very little guy.
Right.
You know, but he's taking, we were supposed to be making, I don't know, clouds or sheep or something like that, where you take cotton balls and you glue them to this piece of paper.
Right.
He's taking the cotton balls and putting them in his onesie.
Oh no.
So it was super funny because his onesie just started to kind of fill up. And you know, his mom is sitting there, I'm sitting there, we're doing this, and I'm like, okay, and his name is Diego, and I'm like, Diego, do you want to like put them on the paper? And he's like, no. Like, okay, well, that's cool. Well, Diego's mom just kind of like felt very comfortable talking to me. I think I have one of those faces that says like, just tell me everything.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
I totally get it.
Me too. And I do, and it's okay.
Yeah.
But she started telling me how Diego was the youngest of her 4 kids, and their doctor in Texas had told her that they needed to amputate both of his legs. Oh. And she was like, I'm not going to do that to him.
Right.
And I was sitting there really trying to like keep it together because I couldn't believe that she was like having this conversation with me. She felt so comfortable, like,
right.
But she just needed an outlet. And I remember leaving that day and I cried the whole way home.
Oh my God.
Because I thought to myself, I have friends that have beautiful, healthy children. I have family members with beautiful, healthy children, and these families are going through a lot.
Right.
And yet they're just so grateful. They're
right.
grateful to be in this place. They're grateful for these volunteers that are sitting across from them helping out on a Saturday morning. And I thought, you know, like, I am so fortunate.
Yeah.
And like, that was like one of those pivotal moments for me. I started working at Quantum House several years later.
Yeah.
And they were one of the first families that I saw. And the mom said to me, did you used to volunteer here?
Oh my God.
And I said, yeah. And she's like, I remember you. And she's like, Diego's 4 now.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm telling you, he comes walking down the hallway. So he's walking. So this little boy that this doctor wanted to amputate his legs is walking. And that's when I realized the power of like parents' resilience and like they will do anything for their kids. And he's this beautiful, happy, wonderful child that's able to like keep up with his siblings.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna cry.
I know. It's
Holy
like,
crap.
I always think about this stuff and I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of those stories, but it's like,
Yeah.
you know, it gives you a lot of hope.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, that's a good way to transition. So you're listening to your Palm Beach Guide from the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce. And again, our guest today is Maria Pumarejo. And I want to touch on Junior League of the Palm Beaches. You are the new president this year. And thank you for including me in Lady in Red. I felt so fabulous that night. I was like, oh, girl, hey, how you doing?
My pleasure.
So, but tell me a little bit about Junior League. And I really want to know, for somebody who has no idea what Junior League is, tell me about it.
I mean, It's interesting. We are a membership-based organization, and we really do three things, right? We serve the community, we train volunteers, and we make an impact.
Right.
We truly value each and every woman and want to sharpen her skills,
Right.
teach her how to be a civic leader, train her to be an excellent volunteer that can go out and serve on boards and be in the community. And it's really a place that you can really grow
Right.
and you can flourish based on what you put into this organization. And this organization, what it has given me in the last 8 years, I don't think I'll ever be able to get back to it. And it's one of the things that I was really reflective about when I thought about becoming president was, what am I going to be able to give to this organization? How can I leave it better than I found it? Because it has opened so many doors for me.
Well, and it's women focused, right?
It's women focused.
Absolutely. And I know there's no staff members.
No.
It's completely volunteer
We're
run.
a completely volunteer-run organization of
Right.
over 600 members.
600 members. Oh my gosh.
We've been around for 84 years. So,
Holy cow.
yeah.
Well, and I think that just is a testament to the fact that the organization is real and it's focused on what the mission is. And otherwise, like, organizations fizzle out, when it's not focused on mission. And you and your team have been able to continue that legacy for 85 now?
85 next year.
85 next
84.
year. There we go.
84, yeah.
84 this year, 85 next year. So how can people get involved with Junior League if they want to get more involved, if they're new to the area especially? I mean, is this a place for them?
100%. I mean, I joined the Junior League because I started to get to a place in my life where I felt like I had something to give. I think that, in your life, you've got your time, you've got your talents, you've got your treasures,
Right.
and you sometimes just don't know where to put that energy.
Right.
And I wanted to be around like-minded women. I had a lot of great friends, but they were starting to do different things in their life, settling down and having kids. And I thought that was amazing, but that's not where I was.
Right.
And I thought, I have some extra time on my hands. Where can I go? How can I do it? I had known about the Junior League, but hadn't been able to really get as involved as I wanted earlier in my career because I traveled quite a bit.
Right.
So I thought, this is a great time. I got involved and I met some of the most wonderful people that I have ever met. Friends that I probably never would have met otherwise. Our
Right.
paths just would not have crossed.
Right.
And I've been able to, not only serve this community, but take part in different conferences and training opportunities. I don't think I'd ever have done these things otherwise had it not been for the Junior League.
Right. And what you were saying, I love how you said sharpened those skills. I feel like they give you, Junior League gives you those practical tools that are I can actually take this into my professional career.
1,000%.
And, what are some examples like that?
So it's really funny. I was not in nonprofit, obviously, when I joined the Junior League.
Right.
And they had these trainings. And one was how to curate a successful silent auction. Another one was how to plan and execute a nonprofit event. I mean, there were these trainings that I had no,
Right.
real...
That silent auction, man. Sometimes I just want to be like,
They're a bear.
I'm not touching your silent auction.
Yeah.
I'll check people in. I'll pass out tickets. I'm not touching your silent auction.
So it was interesting that these trainings were offered, and I thought to myself, there's no reason for me not to take them. Maybe it'll be useful to me
Right.
someday.
And now
Here I am, working in the nonprofit sector.
Right.
So
coordinating many silent auctions.
many silent auctions, many
Right.
events, working with donors and sponsors. But there were other things too. We've done, how to use LinkedIn like a pro.
Right.
With the wonderful Debbie Weems. She comes in every year and works with our women. We've done things about breast cancer screenings. I mean, you kind of name it, you can find a niche for it in the league, whether it be through our education and training. We have something coming up about, the voting process and what to look for, when you go to the polls. And we try to educate women in every single area that could impact them.
And it's good because you're empowering them as well. You educate and you empower, and
Absolutely.
it gives them that ability that says, I can do this. I'm untouchable at this point. And I want to talk real quick. What are some signature events for Junior League that we can look forward to? And where can they go to apply, join, etc.?
Absolutely. So we have quite a few events throughout the year. Some of them are bigger signature events. Some of them are smaller events at different price points because we want to make sure that everyone's included in the community.
Good.
Our events are community facing, so you don't have to be a member to attend. You attended Lady in Red.
Right.
That ended up being an incredible fundraiser for us. Our next event that we have is called Costumes and Cocktails at Bodega.
I love it.
I know you helped me with that one. So that is going to be fabulous. It's actually Saturday night, so we're excited for that. We have our annual holiday luncheon that will be at the O in December.
Okay.
We have our Sprint into Spring Training 5K. That is going to be on February 1st, 2025 at Cacti Park of the Palm Beaches.
Okay.
It is the only 5K of its kind in South Florida. The only other 5K that actually runs through baseball fields is the Yankees.
Hey, look at you.
At their spring training facility in Tampa.
That's awesome.
So we're super excited about that. Cacti Park has been an incredible partner of ours. So shout out to Mike Sophia and his team for always accommodating the Junior League.
Shout out, Mike. Again, so many shout outs. And I love that you say this because just to go back to what we originally talked about of just the connections that you've made with your people, they've gone with you through every season of life that you've been in. And that is a testament to just you as a person and the value that you bring to others. I mean, for me, it's like you've just been that rock for so long. And I can just say that, like, that's just a testament to who you are and to never change, ever change.
You know, I think that I really, I collect people.
People go with you.
You know, and I feel like there's that beauty of building those relationships. And I think that that's what's the most important thing, right? Some of, what we do will come and go, but it's those relationships that are going to be there to last.
100%. And like through every season of life. And I just like you said, the jobs can come and go, but it's those people where it's like Halloween parties and just like those moments where we just sit and hang out and talk. Like those are the moments that are real life. And finally, as we wrap up, this 5K. Okay, let's talk about our running journey real quick. I just want to give a shout out to us because we are not runners and yet we are now. And
I don't know how this happened.
Actually,
I do know how it happened.
Tell the story. Tell the story, please.
So I tore that's really funny. I tore my labrum in my shoulder. I was very stubborn and did not go to a doctor for about 5 months.
5 months?
5 months. Well, it started to be where I couldn't sleep through the night. So I figured, something's wrong. I probably should see someone. Shout out to Dr. Levy.
Yes.
Dr. Levy at the Paley Institute. He took a look at me and he got me back in shape. But what he did say was, you're going to have to transition to something else while you go to 3 months of PT. I said, I'm sorry, what? And I was like, that's really hard. And for someone like me that I am, active. You know me, I'm active, I'm regimented. I work out every morning. It's just a part of my routine. It's what gets me going. Like some people drink 2 cups of coffee. I get a workout in.
Right.
I still have coffee. I'm not crazy.
It's just double. It's fine.
But I was really struggling. Like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And so oddly enough, a person said to me, why don't you join this run club? Why don't you start running? And I said, I haven't run since 2005. I mean, the last time I actually sprinted was when I was in high school. I played softball. That was the last time. That was it. There was none of that for me.
Right.
That's not something I enjoyed.
Right.
So to start running at age 36, I was like, I can't do this. This is a new sport. I'm an old dog. I can't. This isn't a new trick. So Donald Burgess, who is the former CEO, Donald Burgess. He is the former CEO of the Chamber of the Palm Beaches. He is a runner. And when I tell you a runner, and he's a certified coach, and he had this run club, and he said, why don't you join me? And I literally said to him, I do not run. I don't know how to breathe when I run. I don't have running shoes. And he said, just come, check out what we do. Right. We'll start off slow. And when I tell you start off slow, I mean, I was running intervals of 1 minute on, 1 minute off.
Right.
And that was a struggle. Right. And here's, thinking about the workouts I used to do, I'm like, I can't run.
Yeah.
This is hard for me.
It's humbling.
It's super humbling. And so I set a goal and I said, you know what, I'm going to come back next week. And I kept coming back and I kept coming back. And he said, well, what do you want to do here? And I said, I want to be able to run my junior league 5K. I don't want to be like winded, gassed, have to walk. Right. He said, okay. And I had, I started last October. So October 2023, our run was in February. And that was my first 5K that I ran.
Yes.
And so it was really, it was almost kind of emotional.
Oh yeah, I cried.
Yeah, I like hit the finish line. And I'm like, I can't believe I did this. And like for me, it was so awesome as a baseball fan because I ran in and out of all these baseball fields.
Right.
And like, this is the thing, like the park set it up so well. You came in the right field wall. They opened the wall.
Yeah.
And you ran the warning track and you ended at home plate.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I was like, this is not real. This is so cool.
Yeah.
So that is my running journey. Since then, myself and the Sunshine Striders of the Palm Beaches,
Woo!
Shout out
Run Club,
Donald's Ducks.
I love that.
We have run probably a dozen 5Ks now. We do it as a team.
That's
We have a
awesome.
great time. We took a little breather in the summer. That humidity
Because
was
it's like 1,000 degrees
it was
outside.
killer.
Yeah.
And now we're back to our normal.
Good.
We're actually trying to figure out when we're going to start the 5K kind of
Training.
circuit again.
Yeah.
But we meet every Saturday at Okahili Park. So if anyone wants to join us, 7 a.m.
Hell yeah.
You could reach out to me. I'm happy to add you to our group.
That's good. Oh my gosh. Well, and then in closing, just real quick, tell people how they can get a hold of you, and I'll be joining this run club ASAP.
You should. Absolutely. Well, you can find me on LinkedIn.
Right.
Maria Pumarejo. You can find me on Instagram at Maria Puma or president_JLPB. You can follow us for the Junior League, www.jlpb.org. There's more information about joining us as a member, our events, and everything that we have going on. And if you want to find me at Quantum House, it's www.quantumhouse.org.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, Maria.
Thank you for having me. So much fun.